Have you ever wondered how someone can shine so brightly in the spotlight and still carry so much pain behind the curtain? Barbara Mandrell wasn't just a country music star. She was a living force who broke the rules, owned every stage she stepped on, and still managed to carry the weight of tragedy and hardship with quiet strength. Her life was full of applause, awards, and achievements, but also filled with moments that nearly broke her. What does it take to survive the highs and the lowest lows when your entire life plays out in front of the world? Barbara's story is more than just fame. It's a heartbreaking reminder of what it costs to keep smiling when the lights go out. Barbara Mandrell was born on Christmas Day in 1948, a child of rhythm and melody in a home where music wasn't just a hobby, it was a way of life. Her mother was a music teacher, and her father, a police officer, had a deep passion for music. From the beginning, Barbara lived and breathed sound. Even before she could read a book, she was reading sheet music and playing the accordion. Her first public performance was in church, where her gospel singing left people stunned. By age 6, her family had moved to California, where her dad opened a music store, surrounding her with endless instruments and practice time. She picked up the saxophone at school and learned to play steel guitar from a family friend. Her talent was obvious. During a performance at a Chicago music show, she was discovered by country musician Joe Mayuse. And just like that, the little girl with big dreams stepped into a bigger world. At just 11 years old, Barbara started performing in Las Vegas, quickly becoming a standout on the country music TV show Town Hall Party. Even though she felt alone at first in a male-dominated space, she soon realized that other women were making waves too. She spent her summers playing in Vegas, and by 14, she was on tour with legends like Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline. Her family even formed the Mandrell Band, playing military bases and mixing Beatles songs with country twang. The band included a young drummer named Ken Dudney, Barbara's future husband. At school, she was more than just talented. She was popular, smart, and even won the Miss Oceanside, California title in 1965. After graduating, she married Ken, left performing to focus on family life, and toured Vietnam with her family band one final time before Ken left for military service. But it didn't take long for Barbara to realize she didn't belong on the sidelines. One night at a Grand Ole Opry show, sitting in the audience instead of being on stage, she felt something inside her shift. That stage was calling her back. Barbara returned to music with new fire, performing in Nashville while her father took over managing her career. Her talent was undeniable, and soon, 6 record labels wanted her. She signed with Columbia Records in 1969 and started recording R&B and soul-inspired country songs. Her second single made it into the top 20. Later, she joined ABC Records, which became MCA, and with producer Tom Collins, she crafted a unique blend of country and pop. Hits like Standing Room Only, That's What Friends Are For, and Midnight Angel shot up the charts. Her style stood out, soulful, smooth, and powerful. Songs like Woman to Woman even made it onto the pop charts, crossing genre lines in a way few country artists had done. By the late 70s, she was dominating. Her emotional ballads about heartbreak, like Sleeping Single in a Double Bed and If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right, didn't just top country charts, they hit the pop ones too. Her concerts were huge productions with costume changes, choreography, and multiple instruments. She wasn't just singing, she was performing, redefining what it meant to be a female country star. But fame can be heavy. Some critics began to say her music had lost its country soul, calling it too polished or even too glamorous. Her 1983 album Spun Gold was seen by some as a confusing mix of country and disco, while others praised its emotional honesty. But Barbara wasn't trying to fit into one box. She was more than a genre. She was a bold, ever-evolving artist who pushed the limits and took risks, both in music and life. Her strength was always in her ability to keep moving, to keep changing, and to stay real in an industry that often demands fake smiles. Her personal life had its own deep story. She married Ken Dudney in 1967 after a complex start to their relationship. He had been engaged to someone else, but his love for Barbara changed everything. When she graduated, she was ready to be his wife, and Ken gave up his Navy career to support hers. Together, they had 3 children and built a life that looked picture-perfect from the outside. In 1988, they made headlines again when they built Fontanelle, the largest log cabin mansion in the world. It had 6 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, 2 kitchens, and even a helipad. Later, it became a tourist spot with a hotel and music venue. Barbara's sister Cy even worked there before dedicating her life to helping people with addiction. Everything seemed perfect. But then tragedy hit. On September 11, 1984, Barbara's world was shattered. While driving near her Nashville home, her car was hit head-on by a 19-year-old student who crossed into her lane. He died on impact. Barbara's children were in the car, but thankfully suffered only minor injuries. Barbara, however, wasn't as lucky. Her leg was broken, her ankle and knee crushed, and she suffered a concussion that caused temporary brain damage. The pain in her knee never fully went away. For months, she could barely remember who she was. At one point, she even referred to herself in the third person, completely disconnected from her identity. Recovery was long and exhausting. It took years for her brain to heal. And yet, she never gave up. One small decision, making her kids buckle up before the crash, saved all their lives. That moment sparked a new mission for Barbara. She became a national voice for seatbelt safety, filming ads and speaking out, turning her trauma into purpose. But the crash brought more than just physical pain. A legal technicality forced Barbara to file a $10.3 million lawsuit against the family of the young man who caused the accident.
She didn't want to.
She never asked for personal damages, but the law required it to receive insurance compensation. The public didn't understand. People were angry. They thought she was attacking a grieving family. Barbara later admitted she might have felt the same way if she were in their place. It was one of those painful lessons that fame never prepares you for, how even doing the right thing can look wrong when you're in the spotlight. Another heartbreak came when she had to give up one of her biggest successes. Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters, her NBC variety show, was a massive hit. It brought music and comedy into homes across America. She starred alongside her sisters Louise and Arlene, and the show attracted huge names like Ray Charles and Bob Hope. Millions tuned in every week. But behind the scenes, Barbara was falling apart. The schedule was brutal, 14 to 16-hour days that wrecked her voice. She needed cortisone shots just to sing. Her doctors warned she might lose her voice forever. Faced with an impossible choice, Barbara stepped away from the show. It broke her heart, but it also saved her career. In 2007, old episodes were released on DVD, letting fans relive those magical moments and see how much she gave to entertain them. She retired in 1997 at just 48 years old. There was no scandal, no downfall, just a woman who wanted to be there for her family, who chose peace over the spotlight. She sold her instruments, walked away from the stage, and started a quiet life filled with gardening, painting, and love. Her autobiography became a bestseller, and even a TV movie was made about her life. She was honored again in 2009 when she was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Surrounded by family, fans, and fellow musicians, she thanked her late father, the man who believed in her from the very beginning. Her sister Louise performed in her honor, bringing the crowd to tears. Even in retirement, Barbara's impact didn't fade. In 2020, a remix of her hit Sleeping Single in a Double Bed introduced her to a new generation. And in 2022, she made a rare appearance at the Grand Ole Opry to mark 50 years with the institution. She didn't sing that night, but her presence said it all. Carrie Underwood praised her for blazing the trail for artists like her, and Barbara stayed afterward just to watch her soundcheck. That quiet act of support showed the same grace and strength that defined her entire life. Barbara Mandrell's story isn't just about music, it's about what it means to survive when everything falls apart. She rose, she fell, and she chose peace when others might have chased more fame. She changed country music, yes, but she also showed what it means to lead with love, face pain head-on, and know when it's time to walk away. Her voice may not echo from every stage anymore, but it still lives in every song, every memory, and every heart she touched. If you felt moved by Barbara's incredible story, give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories just like this one.